Alright, so, I reckon one of the most interesting places I've been is the Hot Pole. You know what that is? Huh. No, kid. Not that kind of hot pole. This moon ain't big enough to rotate. It's locked. One side always facing Olympus, the other always facing away. Olympus might not be a star, but it throws off assloads of heat. Monarch's hot pole is the part that's closest to the gas giant. It's in the middle of this big mountain plateau. Volcanoes so high the peaks are in space. O2 breathers. The heat from Olympus is worse, though. Close your eyes, you can see rays bursting through your eyeballs. Little streaks of light. The funny thing is, then in the middle there's just smooth rock. Circular-like. All the dust blown away. Pale gray with hair-fine cracks all over. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was lightheaded from the O2. But I felt like I had to take off the breather for a moment, put my ear to the ground. I did get a burn on the lobe before I smartened up. Put a towel under me. It was at the edge of hearing. Deep down. Far off. Irregular. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of a bird pecking out of a shell. When there's a groundquake now, I hold my breath. Because I don't know if it's Olympus squeezing us with gravity, or wings getting stretched. I won't decline it. So, you know about the ocean? It's where the monarchists keep their salt tuna. Goes all the way around the moon, at the twilight band. On one side, the volcanoes at the hot pole. Nobody knows how deep it is. Never needed to. The salt tuna keep near the surface. What's more interesting to me is the tides. No big deal on T2 maybe, or back on Earth, so it's said. On account of how big Olympus is, the tides are monsters. When it's low, the ocean pulls back miles. When it's high, entire islands go under. It ain't so bad in the bay. Likely why they built a city here. But one morning I've gone a ways east. Tides are out, and off in the mud I see something catching sun. That's what I first thought. But something like that be flopping about. This was steady and clean, like metal. Standing out there in the mud, miles from any place, is a circle of silver columns. 6 of them, about 2 stories tall, seamless metal. While I'm standing there in the middle of them, my ears start pounding and I see shapeless things out of the corner of my eyes, gray, disappearing when I look straight at them. About then, while I'm cussing into the dark miles from shore, I realize there's another sound in the distance, a roaring off in the night. The tide's coming in. That's exactly what I said at the time. It gets up to my chest before I start outpacing it. But I didn't stop running until I was on something real damn tall. The weirdest thing? I went back the next low tide. Flew out with an AG loader. The columns were gone. And I've never seen them since. Sure as I can be. The moral is, the tides here will kill you if you ain't careful. So stay the fuck away from the water. I'm near out of stories. You'll have to enjoy this one. I told you before about the hot pole. The point of Monarch, closest to the gas giant. The cold pole is the side that always faces away from Olympus. That's where most of the water is, big sheets of ice. The warmest it gets is 40 below. So you got one end bitter cold and the other boiling hot. That's why there's constant wind, and why we have the storm wall. Where the hot air from one end meets the frigid air from the other, you get storms. You go far enough towards the cold side, you'll see it. A wall of ice cliffs, giant sheets cracking off into the sea, and overhead storm clouds, thick and rolling, snow and ice on gale-force winds. Either one will kill you. Cold just tends to hurt more. Your skin cracks and bleeds. I was a stubborn cuss. I trudged through the storm wall. Had to do it in one go. If you stop for half an hour, you get buried. It was night when I made it through. 90 below and falling. Perfect dark, stars by the million. Forgot to breathe. It was, but that's not why I almost died. It was cold enough that CO2 froze out of the air. CO2 is what makes our brains go, you need to breathe. So I was standing there, head going all swimmy because I wasn't feeling no urge to breathe. Yeah, unconscious, asleep. Well, your body's got no urge to breathe on its own here. You're gonna die. People can live all sorts of places and survive all kinds of things. Too cold to want to breathe would be a mighty strange death. Nah. Go out and live your life for a bit. Do something, I don't know, exciting.